Oh, sweet. Okay, I was like worried. Like nobody typed anything to chat. I was like, oh fuck, did I mess something up? That's good. Everybody's flooding in now. Thank you guys. Good to see you. Thank you, Chelsea. I love you. Hello, hello. Quite an early stream. Yeah, I was supposed to do it like way earlier. Like midday. And I got caught up doing some things. You like this music? You like that? Let me tell you a little about me. How I like to scree and read. And sometimes take a pee in my pants. No, I can't dance. You probably were wondering if I like to prance like a horse. I don't, of course, I don't. No, I don't. I can't prance like a horse at all. Avery, what's up, dude? It's Let's Read sick. I don't think so. Though I went to the gym today and did some like cardio. I've been like kind of taking it easy on the cardio. Hannah's got fucking nighttime church. What a nerd. Just kidding. Have fun at church. Say a prayer for the chat, cause we thirsty. Chat's thirsty. What the fuck? Hudson Gage says he eats dog shit and spammed it like 9 times. Yikes. Dizzy, you farted today and thought of me? Thank you. Did it say like... It said, I'm a 14-year-old girl. How large is my hog? My whole hog. Jeez. Chat is going ham. Look at this. Let's read Mommy Milkers. Confirmed? Big wonky donkeys? Damn straight. Let's read don't fucks with nothing small, you understand? Just kidding. Let me tweet this out. What do you guys think about that? You guys excited about a new tweet? Anybody excited about this new tweet I'm about to put up? Got a big exciting tweet coming up where I typed words into a thing and I pressed enter. Made it public for the world to see. Isn't that so interesting? Isn't tweeting just the coolest thing ever? Every time you do it, it's like you're saying something on a town square. You're like a herald. Back in the day when they thought, frogs were demons. Or potentially demons, you never know. And that black cats made you suck at checkers. You gotta yeet that tweet. You gotta yeet that tweet. Don't make a peep. Don't make a skeet. Treat. With your meat. Don't make a skeet treat with your meat. Let it seep real deep. Am I doing anything for Halloween? Well, I was hoping to go to a get-together on Halloween. Real small, real socially distanced get-together. Where we mud wrestle. It's a real small gathering, but we're going to be mud wrestling. That's the only problem. So I'm kind of on the fence. What do I do? Blue sus. Is anybody else here a little sus? Feeling a little sus tonight? I'm feeling fucking sus. Where's the freestyle come from? Dude, I'm trying to keep up with fucking Corpse and chilling with Dylan, dude. This is my only answer. I gotta get my practice in. My 15 seconds of practice. Jesus Christ. Venikins with the 5 says exactly what I needed to listen to while I clean my house. Thank you. Hope you and Pradeep Kete are well. Boop snoots to you both. Aw, thank you. We could go for some boopy snooties. Some boopy snooties. Everybody's feeling sus tonight. Feeling sus tonight, yeah. I feel so sus, cause my name is Gus. I don't have any luck with these biddies. Especially the ones with some big mommy midi titties. Put in the bicep work. Dude. Where those guys are getting flow, they're getting down with their flow, I'm kind of naturally gifted. So I'm getting swole. I'm trying to get my 50 Cent look going, you know what I mean? And once I look like 50 Cent, then I can begin my musical career. Easy motherfucking peasy. I sound like an airplane pilot. Is it like off right now? Is the sound off? Or, because that would be no go. That'd be scary. You like this fire? You like these? You like what I'm spitting in your direction? Swamp Dweller. What's up, big doggy? What you doing out of your swamp? Get out of me swamp. You would die if I did music. Dude, I've forever wanted to make beats. I downloaded the hell's it called? Fruity Loops. I downloaded FL Studio 12, but it was like an introductory type thing with like very limited capabilities and stuff. You're gonna hotbox your car and listen to the stream with your boyfriend? Hell yeah. That sounds like the most romantic shit of all time, actually. Swamp Deller, we're doing a slapbox for the love. Dude, should we slapbox for charity? The charity is the grave you're gonna bury me in. The charity's for my family after you send me to the afterlife. Drunken Horseman used FL Studio 2. Yeah, so I used it briefly. Hey, Lila. And Bread Moth here, too. Nice. This crew. The Crizzy crew. The Discord crew. Also, yeah, Lila, get that Discord invite out there so people can come join that crew. We're having a good time in Discord. Razor just got a girlfriend. Dude. Fuck yeah. Take her out to get some french fries, man. What are you waiting for? Avery Turner with the $2 says, listening while I put in water-cooled CPU. Love you. Dude, thank you, Avery. Love you too, man. That's pretty intense. A water-cooled CPU. It's like Mr. Freeze just sneezed in there. It's that cool. Swamp Dweller, I weigh a mean 120 pounds. Come get some hands, boy. It's so funny, like, I remember I was kind of a chunky boy when I was younger, and I remember I weighed like 120 pounds in 6th grade. I played football that year too. It was my first year playing footy ball, and you can guarantee that I was a little bit of a lineman, pushing people around with my girth, with my chunky ass. Real Paul with the 10 says, keep up the good work, bro. Not enough of this on YouTube. Thank you, Real Paul. Also, it's kind of interesting. There was an option this time when streaming to put in like a category. So I put entertainment. I didn't know what the hell else to put, to be honest. Could have did gaming, but you really need a boyfriend next year. Hey, you know, you gotta put yourself out there, you know. You never know till you try. But, you know, people always get worked up about not having a significant other, but it's like the best thing you can do when you don't have one is to, or the best way you can even go about getting one in the first place is just to be okay with yourself, you know? Everybody always says that. It's kind of cliche, but it's true. Like, just be the best person you can be, and you will attract... Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that not why you are here? Is that not why you are here? Imagine having a significant other. What if you had an insignificant other? Is that a thing? Do you guys have any of those? Who would be an insignificant other? Maybe like the cricket that sits outside of your window at night keeping you up. Oh yeah, hit that like button, guys. Share this sick-ass stream of me reading stories and blabbering on about nothing. Totale says, stay home. Stay single. You're your own best friend. Hell yeah. You gotta be. I mean, you're spending, in your life, you're spending the majority of your existence with yourself. I would say the majority of it. Unless you, like, astral projected somewhere, you know? Jensen. Joel is my significant other. Thank you, Jensen. You are mine. My significant other from the same mother. What are you doing, significant other? Coronavirus. Coronavirus. The god of Pez with the 5 says, just wanted to buy you your favorite taco. Cheers, my dude. Thank you. We must sacrifice as many tacos into my gullet as possible. Van, my streams are healing. Thank you. I'm glad. Come get healed. Remember that one, like H3 back when he was funny, did like a video where he talked about the guy that would gaze upon people and heal them with their gaze. And I gotta be honest, when I looked in his eyes, I felt a little tingle in me, and I think I felt healed. I don't know what was ailing me, but it didn't hurt after that. What are my thoughts and feelings on cream hole lifestyle? Well, if you see a hole, why not put cream in it? You know what I mean? What is the point of holes without cream? Am I right? Truly, truly. I say unto thee, a hole without cream is like a man without his fishing rod. Architect with the 7 Canadian maple syrup dalheras, thank you so much. Q, what's the difference between ignorance and apathy? Answer, I don't know, I don't care. But oh, dude, you should do a into a freestyle beat. Dude, I'm just stuck on the freestyle thoughts now. Thank you, Architect. Thank you, Architect. Thank you. What have you signed up for? You have made the right choice in your life tonight, being here. A gravitational vacuum. I was sucked into it. I'm sorry, darling. It pulled me through space and time towards the hole. I couldn't control it. Poo-poo, how are you, man? Long time no see. Oh, Ben, you're carving a pumpkin. Dude, that's the one thing that I did not do this season yet, and there's still time. Honestly, I'm thinking maybe I should do one and just make an ASMR video of it. What do you guys think? But it was kind of funny. Like, I was supposed to stream best chills impression, you know? Jensen's definitely, I think he's got it down packed. To the point where whenever I hear Chill's actual voice, I think, this guy doesn't sound like Jensen at all. My voice sucked you in? Good. Get over here. But yeah, so I was going to actually stream closer to like 4, I guess, after I got back from the Jimmy. And it was just so funny. My mom called me out of nowhere, and she said that she bought, you know, a particular product that was malfunctioning. And when she called the customer service to return the product, they needed her to record a 1 minute video of it not working. And so, of course, she called upon her computer genius son. Let's read. Right here in front of you. Oh my god, I know everything about computers. And, you know, using phones and making 1 minute videos to send in for customer service purposes. The tampon 1800. Yeah, she was struggling. And it was just funny because she brought it over and like went to like plug it, like, because it was the charging deck area that was having issues, and she put it in and she's like, it just won't charge. And then I like slightly pushed the charging, you know, wire in a little bit more, and then immediately the light came on and it started charging. I don't know, that was just like, and I'm like, behold my hacking abilities. I am the god of computing and technical knowledge. What would you do without me, mother? What would you do without me? My mom is from the north. Yeah, we north side. Her back massager. Maybe. I didn't get to see what the actual device was. Hey Morgan, how are you? But yeah, it's good to see everybody, guys. I appreciate you being here. Follow me on the social medias if you so desire. Share this out. Click the like button. All that normal stuff. Get comfy. Give your neighbor a kiss on the upper lip. Not the whole lip, just the upper lip. Kingdom Cali, what was your question? I'm sorry, I missed it. Hey, let's read. I'm thinking about getting a motorcycle, but I can't decide. What do you think? Do you have one? You know, I don't. A friend of mine had a sick-ass scooter, which was cool. Motorcycles are neat, though I did have a friend in high school, which was very tragic. He got, like, they didn't see him in the merging area, and they fucking, like, straight up crushed his leg. And he's doing fine now. You know, it's been 12 years or something like that. He's got a full-on, like, a legitimate peg leg without, like, the wood, but made out of, like, stainless steel or something like that. But, you know, it was scary, you know what I mean, at the time, because it was like, holy fuck, did we just, you know, lose a friend to a vehicle accident? And, you know, he popped right back up. He's still on the motorcycle. I see him around from time to time, and, you know, you move on with life. You don't need a leg. You know, pirates do all the time. What the hell happens to all the pirate legs? Like, oh, Callie, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's motorcycles are fun. You know what I mean? Like, they're for sure a good time. And it's just tough. You know what I mean? It's a risk that you take. You obviously always wear a helmet, you know. But you are in the grand scheme of basic physics much smaller than all the other massive, you know, scraps of metal that are flying around at 80 miles an hour on the highway, and you're not always visible to them, you know. So if you do decide to get a motorcycle, just make sure you know what you're doing. And hey, Shannon L, she about to take that L. What is poppin', girl? What happens to pirate leg? Where's all the pirate legs? Who's hanging on to all of them? Pessy, what's up? Senpai has noticed. Senpai has taken great notice in you. We call them prosthetics. Yeah, he has a... He refused a prosthetic, just got a peg leg. I actually carved it for him. It was actually part of my bed. I just sawed it off. It hangs on by a splinter. Probably needs a new one. Something actually professional. Highly recommend the training course. Yeah, it's interesting to me. I feel like motorcycles, to a degree. I mean, I imagine they probably. I've never been through the whole like. I don't know how much training you need. I'm sure it depends on each state, but. Katsuki Mill says, if I'm driving, I prefer to have a motorcycle that's loud, that I can hear, so that I know it's there, because I don't want to crash into it. That's fair too, because I don't think their horns are very loud, other than like a meh, meh. Ashley's just straight up vibing, straight up vibes. If you like Let's Read, press 1, damn it. I saw a lot of 1s in there. If you press 2, you're getting banned. Just kidding. I don't even know how to ban people, to be honest with you. Start on a lower CC and take the course. Yeah, it's like, it's like Mario Kart, they have different CCs and that, and you don't want to go right to like the 500cc and blast off a fucking rainbow road into space. Be careful. Safarina, welcome. Oh, fuck. This is actually a sick motherfucking beat right here. It's kind of funny, though, like, I feel like there's some people... Can you imagine being the worst one of your friends at freestyling? I guess that's just the whole process. You just get some beats and you drive around in your loud tailpipe car, your 250cc car with your friends, and you just figure out how to freestyle till you're good. The more the lights, the better. Yeah, that's a good idea. Meredith, hello. How art thou? We all collectively vibing. I feel like you couldn't really listen to music on your motorcycle, could you? I mean, I guess you could put, like, headphones in, but I don't know if that's illegal or not. Yo, Metro booming on Joel's beat. Dude, get Metro booming off of my fucking big beat. This is my beat, Metro. Get out of here.
Hey, listen.
Venikins with the 2 says, you know me, Joel. What's my predicate status? He was actually in here, and it's so funny because sometimes he'll like be laying in the bed and I'll take the covers and just like tuck him in because it's cute. But before the stream started, when I went to get tea, he snuck out. He did a sneaky snack. Oh, a helmet with like a Bluetooth speaker, that would be pretty intense. But I feel like you'd almost like want to like make sure you could like really hear all your surroundings, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sure eventually everything is just like muscle memory for the most part, but you never know. Like the audible aspects of riding is probably really important. Can pretty meow into the mic. If he starts banging his body into the door, I will absolutely get him up on that mic. All right, guys. Thanks again for being here. We're going to be transitioning over to Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse. If anybody's familiar with H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythos, I was always thinking, like, if you ever met someone in real life who pronounces Cthulhu as, like, Cthulhu, like they're fucking hawking a loogie on your face, as if though it's, like, from a language that's inaudible to human ears. Be careful with those people, because I feel like they're not afraid to die. Kind of like the people who take, like, a poop in your house for the first time they ever visit. As soon as they walk in, hey, can I shit? Yeah, sure. I put a candle in there. Oh, perfect. And then you just like hear diarrhea shooting out of the door. All right, Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse. Yeah. Let's make that transition over to Robin's Spooky Storytown image that he had made. Thank you, Robin, as always. Lils, hello, Lils. With the 5 says, when I ride my motorcycle, I have my Bluetooth loud enough to hear, but not blasting the music so I can hear traffic. Oh, okay, sick. So Lil's got some... She's part of a biker gang. That's good to know. Good to know. I wasn't sure. I always had an inclination that you were like a, some sort of Hell's Angel. What was that movie? The Bad Grandpa movie? That was with Johnny Knoxville. It was pretty funny because like at the one time they're like, I don't know, in like a bar fight, or the one guy's trying to take the kid, and like the one guy like grabs him by the shirt. He's like, "You're looking in the eyes of a Hell's Angel." And I just like never forget that part of the movie because I kind of pissed my pants when he said it. All right, guys. So as you've already seen tonight, we've got Halloween stories. This is, well, we did Trick or Treat stories. We did the first Halloween volume of this year, 2020, baby. And then we did the Trick or Treat stories, and then the true crime stories. Which, thank you again for watching that. I'm glad to see that people are into that, even though it's not like along the same like titles as my other videos, but it seems like people are digging it, which is cool. And now we're moving on to more Halloween stories to finish out Spooky Month. We're getting there, oh so close to the big day in which we all either get blasted with alcohol or candy, whatever you decide. Please don't throw any eggs at my house, that'd be great. And it's going to be sick. Tomorrow is actually going to be, it's actually sponsored by Shudder, so get ready for another Shudder ad. It's going to be litty titty. Also, Shudder's sick, so if you guys, use the promo code and all that kind of stuff that I'll put in the video and you'll get to hear about, it makes me look good, so... And Shudder is awesome. It's like, Netflix of horror, as you've heard me say many a time. Totally worth it. Okay. Halloween is cancelled. Cancelled. Nothing's cancelled unless you let it be, my friends. Uh-oh, secular millennials taking me to Femboy Hooters again? Is it even open on Halloween, dude? Actually, I wonder what Hooters employees would wear on Halloween. Now you've got me curious. Oh, Hannah, you were watching Shudder right before this. Nice. What were you watching on there? Is Femboy Hooters a real thing? You're damn right. And I'm getting treated there. Wait, what did Trisha Paytas say? Trisha Paytas is like a fucking Demon Souls boss. She's like, scares me sometimes. Like the final boss, perhaps, in Demon Souls Remake. Joel, I'm a certified chef. Let me cook for you in a maid's dress. Alright, yeah, that sounds sick. I'm down with that. The 2000 Kawasaki Ninja. Shit, dude, are you gonna join a Yakuza gang? Oh, it'd be sick to have one of those bikes from that anime Akira. Dude, just get one of those right out the gate. Where it like shoots lightning bolts out the fucking side. Alright guys, so we will kick off these stories. I have to... Joel, okay, so that's the question you're trying to ask, Callie, is Joel, do you prefer skinny women? A good handful of women? Is that like multiple women at once? Plus size, or are you really just not picky as long as they are pretty and fun? Hey, you know me. I am open to anything. Why do people call me Joel? I don't know. They just like made that name up out of nowhere, and that's... I don't know if it's Joel, 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 Jolena, Jolapocalypse. Have I gotten canceled yet? No, I'm waiting for you to Take me to Femboy Hooters and I'll forget to tip and I'll be done for. Done for! Twitter will have its way with me. I am creepy, thank you. You heard of Corpse Husband music? I have. Have you heard of Baby Gravy's music, though? You should check that out. Type Baby Gravy into Google and get at me. You want to be Brittany wants to be canceled. Let's just all cancel each other. That'd be funny, yeah. Hashtag Let's Read is over, but they accidentally type like Let's Read is lover, and they actually reverse cancel me, and I ascend to fucking godhood, and now I'm in charge of Twitter. Suck a butthole, dummies. You didn't hashtag me right, and now I'm in charge. Now I'm in charge of canceling, and nobody's canceled. Emily, no, you're not. Shut up. All right, I'll start reading. Everybody's getting yancy. They're making innocuous threats. Okay, so I have to. Does corpse get me moister than an oyster? Oh yeah, and just as salty too. I have to record 10 seconds of silence so I can remove the background noise. And then we'll kick it off. My name is Kayla, and I live just outside of Charleston here in West Virginia. Halloween used to be my favorite time of the year. Everything about the spooky season just filled me with a kind of childlike excitement. Like I honestly preferred it to Christmas by a whole lot, and as soon as the months ticked over from September to October, it kicked off a whole 31 days of celebratory spookiness for me. I even got a job in a Halloween store that was open all year round, just so I could get some of that spooky holiday feeling during the spring and summer. But not anymore. Not since one Halloween brought one of the most traumatic experiences of my entire life with it. And that thing was a visit to an unlicensed Halloween haunt attraction out here in Appalachia. A haunt, as they become known, are Halloween-themed scary events that are put on every year from the end of September to October. After the success of more well-known haunts like Halloween Horror Nights and the Netherworld Haunted House, similar attractions popped up all over the country. Some were a little more fast and loose, whereas some, as I found out, are downright dangerous. I've never actually been to one of those things at the time a friend of mine suggested visiting one, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't extremely curious. Erica, my best friend for as long as I can remember, said she'd heard about a haunt over near the Big Ugly Wildlife Park. There wasn't much info available about it online, but there were a few reviews of the place on Reddit, some of which were written by self-proclaimed horror junkies. One of which said they've been to a bunch of haunts and that the one near Big Ugly was probably the most immersive, intense experience they'd ever been subjected to. Another was from a guy who said that he'd lasted hours on end in other haunts up and down the country, who'd laughed more than he'd jumped for the most part. But their visit to the Big Ugly had him tapping out before even an hour had elapsed. I told Erica that it might not be the best idea to go to the haunt if it was too much for even hardened horror fans, but she responded that they were probably just talking up the attraction after being given free entry or something. Like what happens with Instagram influencers, only for gorehounds and not teenage girls. So, somewhat reluctantly, I agreed to go along with her. Only unlike some of the more mainstream Halloween haunted attractions, this particular haunt didn't just let you rock up. Didn't let you rock up? What the fuck's that mean? Maybe walk up. Herbert Small with a 5 says, delivering the pizza. Can't wait to get home to the wife. It's been a long day, but glad to get spooky. Oh, thank you, Herbert. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Hashtag Joel is lover. Get that popcorn going. That was actually a solid start on the reading there. Spooky overload. Barreto 582, what's up? I'm just gonna rock up on this fool. Only, unlike some of the more mainstream Halloween haunt attractions, this particular haunt didn't just let you walk up, buy a ticket, and stand in line. As far as we knew, it didn't even have a name. Some just referred to it as the haunt south of Charleston, others as the scariest place in West Virginia. But the most common reference to it seemed to just be the Big Ugly, so that's what we started calling it too. So as you can imagine, there was no website, no Google info tab, nothing like that. All there was this weird email address that you had to message in order to receive a date and time when you were permitted to visit. We got the email address from one of the Reddit reviews, and it was something cryptic looking like 819v9l_33 at protonrocker.onion. I was over at Erica's place when we sent over an email saying like, how can we get ourselves a time slot? A reply came in within minutes. We rise from the ocean, with our names burned under our heads. Our command and control come from the Winged One. But how many crowns do we wear? Erica read the reply aloud in pure confusion, wondering just what... Fuck. It said a bad word, and I was afraid to read the bad word, and then I tried to think of another word, but it didn't work. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Alien, you call yourself the Big Ugly? How's it going? It's the Big Ugly. Erica read the pure confusion, wondering just what the hell such a weird... Just what in the world such a weird reply could have... Okay. Erica read the reply aloud in pure confusion, wondering just what in God's name such a weird reply could have meant, and what it was referring to. She copied and pasted the reply into a Google search bar, but all she got was hits on poetry and Shakespeare, nothing about crowns or dragons or anything like that. She had no idea what the email was talking about, but something about it seemed oddly familiar to me, and for some reason, an answer came to mind. I told her to reply with just the word 10. She was all like, is that a guess? How do you know that? But I insisted it had to be 10. She fired off a reply, and again the response came back in minutes. It was the right answer. Erica was astounded, and by that point, I'd realized how I knew the answer. You see, my grandpa was a preacher out in rural West Virginia, one of the fire and brimstone kinds that screamed at his congregation from his pulpit every Sunday. He knew the Bible off by heart, but there was one section of it that he was particularly obsessed with, and that was the book of Revelations. He always used to bark the same verse whenever he talked about the Day of Judgment. Something about a grace. Something about grace. Oh yeah. Something about grace. Morgan Kelly with the 5 says, you say hello to me every time I join. It makes my day and night. So thank you, Morgan. I try my best. Thank you. Joel, you got on TikTok. I am not on TikTok. Should I be? What would I even put on there if Let's Read made a TikTok? What would he put? Dancing videos? Perhaps a way to data mine your information to China? What would I do on there? Hey, Winter, what's up? Oh, you're an art teacher. That's cool. Wait, architect, what kind of, what's your favorite sort of medium to use? You want me to put my hands on, like, corpse? Should I paint my nails black? What should I do? Helena with a 5 says, thanks for never giving me but actually saving me from nightmares. Oh, you're welcome. I have heard many people have listened and it sent them into a bit of a nightmare, but I'm glad that mine do not. The one thing I've come to find is that, like, to avoid having dreams about something, if I think about it right before I go to bed, it almost makes me have the opposite effect of what you would anticipate, where you don't have dreams about the thing you just thought about, but rather you end up having dreams about sort of subconscious ideas that maybe you thought about earlier in the day offhandedly, and then it resurfaces later. It's kind of strange. Danny Davis, I'm an artist and would scream if I could do a short animation for your narrations. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to check out your animations if you want to, like, email them, DM me or whatever, Discord, whatever you want to do. That'd be sick. Honestly, animations are like one of my favorite things. And I was just thinking earlier, like, one of my greatest accomplishments ever would be to sort of create like an entire production, a little bit kind of how whatever company made, the Akira anime. Like, if you could make like a legendary animated movie, just the music, the animation and art and the screenplay and the acting, and write, you know what I mean? There's just so many facets of creative input that go into it, and to be the individual that coordinates all of that, I think would be, I don't know, just such a proud moment. They say that is how you feel in your dream. That is the reality, not what you dream of. He always used to bark the same verse whenever he talked about the Day of Judgment. Something about a great beast rising out of boiling waters, one that was like a leopard and a bear with the mouth of a lion. Sounds pretty dumb now, but when I was a kid it used to scare the life out of me, and I never forgot. Oops. Can I read the Russian sleep experiment? I actually have that on my YouTube channel. If you search it in the channel search area, there's like a little magnifying glass you can click on and type in that Russian sleep experiment, and I have done that long ago. Yeah, go to the meme page, guys. Actually, the meme page is growing. I'm starting to notice that every time I post memes on it, it's getting close to like 150 likes each meme, which is pretty badass. So go follow Horny Computer on Instagram. You will not regret it. Though if you type it in, it's kind of actually hard to pop up. It's like definitely not the first thing to pop up, which kind of sucks. Let's read. I love you, bro. You've gotten me through a lot of bad nights. I just want you to know that you are appreciated. I've been following your channel for a couple of years now. Thank you. Happy? That makes me happy. I appreciate it. And Serendipity Bowser with a 10. Thank you. It says boop. Boop. What if I felt that boop right through my schnoz? My reading gives you serotonin. Good. Breathe it in. You want me to make an OnlyFans? Well, you have to make it for me. After we go to Femboy Hooters. I had the most superior meme page in town. I really do, honestly. And I don't say that lightly. I've seen a lot of meme pages, and I really don't like meme pages that are like family friendly, you know what I mean, where they're just like something you would share on Facebook to make your aunt laugh, like I want the ones that really fucking just dig in, get ready for the long grind. Why am I in such a good mood? I don't know. I think I've accomplished what I set to accomplish today. I got to see my mom. That was cool. I don't, feel like that's not as often as it used to be. Not for any particular reason. It's just, maybe that's like an underlying sense of joy. And it's early. I normally wouldn't be starting for like another 2 hours. You know what I mean? So we moving and grooving. Would I ever date a Let's Read fan? Who are these Let's Read fans? Is that a YouTube channel? I actually would be curious if like there was like a tier. I'm sure there is somewhere, but if you could like find a tier list of like the top OnlyFans content creators, you know? What happened Thursday? What happened Thursday? Oh, wait, what did happen Thursday? Oh, I fucking wait, what did happen? I think I like messed up my sleep schedule, and then I took some ZQL and I woke up in the morning then I was like I still wanted to stream because I felt bad that I didn't, and then I kind of reset my sleep schedule a little bit, and then streamed at like 11. I think if you guys were around for that. Would I date the president of my fan club? I kind of would have to, just for political reasons, obviously. Do I date my fans? Joel, don't date your fans. Okay, alright, fine. I'll just give them a kiss on the cheek and send them on their way. I streamed at 10 a.m. Sheesh, that's early. Sounds pretty dumb now, but when I was a kid it used to scare the life out of me, and I never ever forgot the part about it wearing 10 crowns upon its horns. We thought the correct answer to the cryptic question would be enough to get us an appointment at the Big Ugly, but instead of getting our time slot, we only got another weird puzzle as a reply. Go to where the lonely Dutchman did his final dance and paint a welcoming picture. Now it was my turn to be like, what in God's name does this even mean? If they wanted us to go all the way to the Netherlands to get some painting done, we really were up the creek. But this time, it was Erica who had one of those light bulb moments. You see, she's really into true crime stuff, so like serial killers, mass murders, all kinds of detective stuff, and missing 411 stories. They're just her jam. She said the moment she heard the word Dutchman and Final Dance, she knew immediately who they were referring to. That person being a dude named Harry F. Powers. Born Harm Drent in Groningen, Holland, Harry Powers baited his victims through lonely Hearts ads, claiming he was looking for love, but ended up murdering them for their money. He was executed by hanging in Moundsville, West Virginia. Dude, my voice keeps cracking. Fuck. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. One of his fans be his wife. You never know. Is this the same story? Yeah, this is story 1. Is all this memorized? No, that's not memorized. That would be impressive. I just fucking like spouted off an entire story. I'll just say, yeah, I memorized this shit, and I'm just letting it out like an Abraham Lincoln speech. He was executed by hanging in Moundsville, West Virginia, hence the part about his final dance, which apparently referred to the death spasms that occur when somebody dies that way. Moundsville is up in the very north of West Virginia, a 4-hour round trip from Charleston. So to save us the time of driving all the way there and back, we took a gamble on just getting a picture of the Welcome to Moundsville sign from Google Images and sending a copy of it to the Big Ugly email address. It worked. We got a reply that just said 2100 October 30th, which we deduced was them telling us to go looking for the place at around 9 p.m. on the 30th. Shit. Architect with a 7 Canadian says, don't chug Sprite, it burns my throat, but let's read Make Everything Feel Better. Yup. Yeah, that's, I feel like, pretty acidic to just take a chug of that. It's funny how different the culture is between YouTube and Twitch. I know, I noticed that too. Like, I go into Twitch chats and I feel like the interaction with chat, it's a little bit different since, like, you know, I have time to actually interact with you guys and I'm not playing a video game. But on Twitch, it's just like Twitch memes and like a really disconjointed, like, chat that doesn't even like communicate with itself. It's like a weird hive mind, you know what I mean, that doesn't really have any autonomy, or it does, but it really usually consists of just spamming emotes and stuff. But yeah, Twitch culture is much different than YouTube culture. It's strange. Which we deduced was them telling us to go looking for the place at around 9 p.m. on the 30th of October, only a few days away from the time we got in touch. We were on. Got to the day in question, and we set off in the late afternoon. It's just less than an hour's drive from Charleston out to the big, ugly... Sorry. I heard something in my headphone. That's weird. Heard something in my headphone, but I think it was just from my jaw moving around and causing some squeakiness from the plastic. But I legitimately had this fear in my head that there was a fucking spider crawling around the interior, and had to check. Had to fucking check. That would have, yeah, it's a ghost spider. How come spiders don't get to be ghosts? That's unfair. Rock hard jaw. Cut to the day in question, and we set off in the late afternoon. It's just less than an hour's drive from Charleston out to the big ugly wildlife park, but we figured we better give ourselves a few hours to actually find the place, given that we hadn't been given an actual location, only to search the area around Mudlick Hollow. I was pretty apprehensive about the whole thing on the drive out there, having heard some pretty grim stories about people's experiences at these guerrilla-style haunts. But Erica told me I was being a big baby, that they wouldn't have gotten such glowing reviews if they weren't legit, and more importantly, didn't keep people safe. We were on foot around Mudlick for maybe 40 minutes or so before we saw a trail of smoke rising into the air. Folks aren't allowed to camp anywhere in the Big Ugly, so we figured that the smoke trail had to be the haunt. And if it wasn't, we could at least rule out the location as being the place we needed to be. But after we hiked up and down steep hills and finally came across a piece of fairly flat land set between two inclines, all we saw was a trio of wooden teepee. Jose Flores with the 10 says, thank you for the awesome streams and videos that always help me sleep for work. You're welcome, Jose. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know. This is how you spell teepee?
Teepee.
Sorry, that was loud as fuck. Teepee. But after we hiked up and down steep hills and finally came across a piece of fairly flat land set between two inclines, all we saw was a trio of wooden teepee-looking things, and not a single living soul around to greet us. We weren't even sure it was what we were looking for, but still we started clambering down this fairly steep slope in the direction of the wooden structures, keeping our eye out for anyone who might look like they were in charge of the haunt. It was deathly quiet. Sometimes I mix the two words up in a row. Tepe. I went inside the tepe. Oh, you're working on Inktober drawings while listening. Nice. Be sure to tag me, and I like whenever people tag me in Inktober stuff. I just like art in general, hence why I like animation a lot as well. I haven't really done anything artistic in quite a while, I guess, besides this. Oops. It was deathly quiet as we wandered up to the teepees, and I started to get seriously uneasy as the sun was just starting to dip onto the western horizon. It would be dark soon, and it wouldn't be easy to find our way back to Erica's car. We had no food on us at all, with only these cheap flashlights to light our way. But right as I'm about to raise this point to Erica and suggest that we just get out of there before anything bad could happen, we heard a voice from the slopes above us. You girls lost? We looked up to... shit. Anya, you drew my skeleton asteroid. Nice. Yeah, tag me on some social media. I'd love to check it out. Drunken, you're going to draw some fan art too. Nice. I always appreciate fan art. It's like such a flattering thing, you know? It was deathly quiet. You girls lost. We looked up to see this rough-looking dude peering out at us from behind a tree, a black bandana covering his face. I knew things were about to get weird as soon as I saw the face covering. No one who's up to anything wholesome ever covers their face up. Like, ever. We're just looking for the big ugly haunt, Erica replied, and I heard it in her voice that she was nervous, too. You heard of it? Haunt, the guy replied. Don't know what you're talking about. Right when he said that, I heard something behind us, and was so sure that I saw something moving behind one of the other trees. I started giving Erica this look as if to say, like, let's just scoot, and she nods, and the whole thing had been a bad idea, and now she was firmly aware of that too. Erica thanked the man anyway and told him we'd be on our way, but he called back that he had a better idea, and it's then that he produced a crossbow, like out of nowhere, and pointed the thing at us. His better idea, as he put it, was for us to lie flat on our faces in the dirt, and right as he says that, a bunch of other guys start appearing from behind the trees and walking down the slopes towards us. Run, and we'll catch you, one of the other guys said. Hide, and we'll find you. Scream, and I'll cut your tongues out, for I fry them up in their skillet. Apparently, we hadn't found the haunt. We'd found something far, far worse. For what seemed like hours, those masked-up guys subjected us to the most terrifying, traumatic experiences of our entire lives. They stripped us, tied us to the trees, slapped us, fired crossbow bolts at us, and threatened us with things I don't think I really want to repeat here. The treatment got progressively worse as time went on, and the whole time they laughed and whooped as we begged them not to hurt us and to let us go. We swore we wouldn't tell anyone that they were out there. We promised them that we'd just leave and never come back. But they told us they didn't believe us. They said there was only one way to make sure we wouldn't tell on them, and that was to put us in the ground. We were half naked when they untied us from the trees and dragged us by the hair over to a patch of dirt behind their teepee things. Then, with crossbow and pistols pointed at us, they made us dig into the earth with our bare hands, telling us we were digging out our own shallow graves. I don't think I cried like that since I was a little girl. But still, I dug, tearing up my fingers. Sorry. Holy fuck, this got intense out of nowhere. Grab some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. Haunted croissant. It's a very haunted croissant. I don't think I cried like that since I was a little girl, but still, I dug, tearing up my fingers on rocks and roots as I thought about what a silly little girl I'd been to even risk trying to find some unlicensed haunt in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly, Erica refused to carry on digging, screaming at the guys if they were going to kill us, that she wasn't going to waste any time digging a hole. I remember not being able to decide if she was being stupid or brave, dumb or defiant. She turned her tear-streaked face up to those psychos and just straight up told them no. But they just laughed, hooting and hollering before one of them asked us what we were thinking coming out this far into the woods. I can't remember what the exact exchange was, but Erica said something about saying something about how they wouldn't get away with what they'd done. They're killing it. Okay. I can't remember what exactly was exchanged, but Eric had said something about how they wouldn't get away with what they'd done, that killing us would be the biggest mistake of their lives. Then one of the guys was like, "Wrong on both counts. We are going to get away with this, and it's not a mistake, because you're not going to die." I remember they said that last part for sure because I immediately stopped digging and looked up, this feeling of hope going through me, like a warm feeling spreading in my chest. "Congratulations, girls," the guy with the crossbow said. "You just survived the big ugly haunt." We just sat there in the dirt, shivering, unable to believe. Shit. We just sat there in the dirt, shivering, unable to believe what had just happened to us. Even Erica, who had been spitting bile at these guys just a minute before, seemed shell-shocked. One of the guys came along and threw our clothes at us, then offered us some hot coffee from a flask he had, along with a few cigarettes. Erica refused both, but I took the cigarette. I'd quit a few years before, but I just couldn't turn it down. It dawned on us during the car ride back home that they hadn't actually done anything seriously physical. Oops. Now I have a haunted croissant. It dawned on us during the car ride back home that they hadn't actually done anything seriously to physically harm us. Aside from the cold, a few slaps and the hair pulling, they barely touched us, and they didn't actually strip us naked at all. The whole thing had been a psychological game, albeit one that had scared the life out of us. They didn't even ask us for any money at the end of it. They just let us go. We talked about going to the police or writing up a warning on Reddit about the haunt, but we ended up doing neither. It was our own fault for looking for something like that, for even considering it to be a good idea or a remotely fun time. Well, I mean, I suppose this is a warning, written years later, way too late, and it haunts me how many other people they will have gotten away with mentally torturing, but at the end of the day, we had gone looking for something to scare us. Maybe we were just super naive or whatever, but the point stands. They didn't come to us. We went to them. We went looking for something truly terrifying, and by God, did we find it. Yeah, it does sound like the McCamey Manor thing that was on the last, the last true crime thing. It's kind of hilarious. Which I am kind of confused why they didn't just go to the cops still, you know? I feel like any normal person would probably do that. Hey, Gothic Rose, how are you? Silent Sniper's got some pumpernickel bread. Nice. Let me let this cat in. As everybody's been requesting, Pradeep has entered the building here. Well, hopefully, if he doesn't run away. Addy, I'm an animator. I'm thinking about doing small horror animations, possibly with narrations. Any tips on what makes a good horror channel? You know, just pretty much, I think a sense of ominous fear is something that really gets to people sometimes. Like there's something about my channel that's almost a sense of like relaxation mixed with uncertainty, I suppose, when it comes to the stories. But you know, just do your best to get as good at animating as you possibly can. Get good at like sound design, you know, if you want to include that kind of stuff. And if you do narrations, you know, feel free to use, you know, my narrations as long as you just credit me, you know. And yeah, just do your best to keep getting better. Brian, what's up, dude? Welcome, welcome. What did Red do? What didn't Red do? Red is just born sus, my dude. Oh, there's Blue Phantom? Who's Blue Phantom? Never heard of him. You're drawing a spider coming out of somebody's head. Oh, shoot. Spooky. Spooky. Let me re-lube the lips. Yeah, animation takes a lot of patience. Because if you can imagine, there's like 30 frames per second, or maybe 24 is like the standard in film. So if you have the patience to like draw one frame and then do that only for it to be a second, you can imagine how long a decently sized animation is going to take. That's why I think a lot of people use like programs and stuff. It's almost like borderline like South Park looking, but it all just depends on what your goals are, because as far as I know, animating takes quite a bit of time. Even this one animation channel that I really enjoy, it's called Meat Canyon. I'm sure you guys have seen it probably in passing. A lot of funny animations there. They do some pretty in-depth animations, but I think they're like a team of people now. And most of the time it's like usually just a certain individual aspect of the characters that's moving, like not their whole body, but just like their mouth and eyes or something. You wish you could draw. You can draw. You just got to practice. Honestly, there's some people like from a young age that they've taken strongly to their ability, to be artistic or whatever, but that's just because that doesn't mean that somebody else who might not be artistic in the beginning can't get better at it, because any skill is just constant practice, and if you out practice another person, even if they have talent, you can still surpass them in skill. Oh, okay. Hey, Blue Phantom, what's up? Lord Bucky, what did you miss? What did he miss, guys? Just one story, no worries. You've been drawing since a baby? That's sick. Oh my gosh. Draw me like one of your French girls. Oui, oui. Draw me like one of your French croissants. That'd be really funny to just like do a really passionate drawing of a croissant. Alright, we're going to kick off story 2. What's up, Robo? Oh, Blue Phantom is Lila. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how I forgot that. I even recognized your profile picture and it didn't click in my head. Me apologies. My name is Danny and I live here in Liverpool in the UK. I'm 33 this year, so obviously my trick-or-treating days are well behind me. But the times I got to throw on a scary costume and head into the night with my best mates are some of the fondest memories I have from my youth. That's even aside from the free sweets, and we all know how stuff just tastes better when it's free. But maybe I'm looking back through rose-tinted glasses to a degree, because I do remember one Halloween that was most definitely not all fun and games. In fact, what happened that night was probably one of the most terrifying things that's ever happened to me, even if it did take me a little while to realize the significance of it. So me and my childhood friends are all either 15 or 16 during the Halloween of 2003, right on the verge of being too old to trick-or-treat anymore. Saying that, considering most of our voices had broken at the time, us turning up at people's houses was less cute kids begging for sweets and more like moody teenagers extorting people out of their Haribo minis under the threat of egging. People were generally pretty sound about it, and only once did we have to actually throw an egg in anger, but there were many, many occasions where a homeowner would take a peek through the living room curtains before just refusing to answer the door. And it's not like we could egg everyone. We only had a pack of 6 and had to use them sparingly. Fun fact, a lot of places around ours just refused to sell teenage boys eggs during the Halloween season. As one bloke said to me, "You don't look like the type to take these home to Spanish omelette, do you, lad?" Good point. Well made. Point being, there came a point during the evening when we were pretty dismayed at the pathetically low amount of chocolate we'd managed to get our hands on, which is what directly led two of us to make a huge error of judgment. So later on in the evening, maybe at about 9ish, we're in this fancier neighborhood near the river, knocking on house after house and generally getting the knockback from the owners, until we come to this one house, where an older guy actually answers the door with a smile. We give it the old trick-or-treat greeting, to which he responds by laughing warmly and giving us a little clap, which was unusual, but not entirely unwelcome. He starts telling us how not a single set of trick-or-treaters had knocked at his house all evening, and since he finds Halloween a great deal of fun, it had left him pretty dismayed. We get into a casual conversation with him about our costumes, who we were supposed to be and all that, and although I don't think he managed to pick up on a single reference, he was very complimentary. He then goes on to tell us that since it's getting late in the evening and he was unlikely to get anyone else calling at his house, that we were welcome to as much chocolate and sweets as we wanted. He told us that he'd stocked up on like a shed load of stuff, thinking he was going to get many more house calls than he ended up getting, and since he was off to bed soon, we could just help ourselves. Otherwise, all the chocolate would just end up sitting in his cupboards for a year, and he wasn't about to give kids year-old sweets come next Halloween. We basically hit the jackpot, thinking we could just rinse the old fellow of his sweets and make up for the paltry amount we'd collected over what had been an unusually fruitless trick-or-treating session. Only, he said there was one small problem. Since he was getting on in years and didn't get out much, his oldest grown-up son had come by to drop off all the sweets along with his usual weekly shopping. Then, without having thought it through, his son had put all the sweets in the top cupboard of his back pantry, one that was way too high for him to reach without doing his back in. If a couple of us were willing to help him reach the cupboards and take a few tins of soup for him in the process, the sweets were ours. All of them. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who in God's name is daft enough to just wander into a complete stranger's house in the middle of the night? Apparently we were, and I'll explain why. Firstly, we were in the middle of our teens, and most of us were big lads, hardly in a position not to be able to defend ourselves. Secondly, this fellow seemed pretty old and infirm, hardly a big threat to us, especially since the two lads who volunteered to go inside to help him outnumbered him 2-1. And thirdly, the fact that one of us had managed... Damn, dude, I made it so far. He barely managed it. Dude, that was pretty solid. That was pretty solid. Russ has got a boogeyman in his pants. Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. Ruh-roh, Raggy. He's got a boogeyman in his pants.
NWO. Archaeology. Good night. Architect, why do you have problems? What are your problems, child? And thirdly, the fact that one of us had managed to pilfer a bit of peach schnapps out of his parents' booze stash, which we promptly shared as soon as we were able, had seriously impaired our judgment. So pretty much as soon as the old bloke laid out the terms, two of us, Sam and Corky, volunteered to go inside and help the fellow get us soup so we could get our sweets. They went inside. The old fellow shuts the door behind him after saying something about keeping the cold out, and we wait outside in the street, buzzing about having hit the chocolate jackpot. Like I mentioned, we were all pretty tipsy from having shared that bottle of booze, so we're just sitting on the stone wall outside the bloke's house, chatting up and waiting. A few minutes go by. Sam and Corky haven't appeared yet, but I think we're just in too high spirits to really notice. A few more minutes go by, and we start getting a little bit impatient, wondering what's taking so long. It had gotten colder and colder as the night went on, and by that point it was actually starting to drizzle, and none of us fancied getting soaked on the walk back home. So one of us gets their phone out and starts trying to ring Sam and Corky on their mobiles, to which there was no response. We actually started cursing them out now, speculating that they were stashing some of those sweets away in their costumes or something so they don't have to share with the rest of us. The lad who tried to ring them does so again, shaking his head and getting annoyed as the rain started to get a bit heavier. Then, right at that moment, we hear a bang of something smashing against the wooden gate at the side of the old fellow's house. It was loud enough to make us all a jump, so we stand and turn around to see what could have made the noise. That's when I see Sam climbing over the wooden gate at the side of the house, like scrambling over it as fast as he could, looking like he'd seen a sodding ghost or something. We're all like, "What's going on, mate?" watching him clamber over the wooden fencing near the black gate. Whoops. Watching him clamber over the blah. Okay. When he said, well, he reminded me of that TikTok. Which TikTok? I guess I'm out of the loop on TikTok, huh? I'm too boomer for tiki-talkie. You play my stream on 5 different devices. That sounds amazing. Just echoing through the house. Hello, 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 friends. Tiki-talkie, tiki-talk, talk, tiki-talk. Watching him clambering over the wooden fencing near the back gate, before basically throwing himself over the other side and hitting the concrete driveway with a thud. God, the pure fear in his eyes when he started running down the driveway at us, shouting for us to run. We all start backing off, like getting ready to leg it, when Sam stops, turning back towards the house and saying something like, "God, Corky's still in there. He's still bloody in there." Everyone starts asking him what just went on for him to come running out like that, but he doesn't respond. He just looks up towards the second floor of the house with a gasp. I turn to try to see what he's looking at, and watch as one of the top windows of the house opens up. It was one of those kinds of things that... Aura, hello, hello. You're just in time to hear Corky get decorked. It was one of those kinds that opens by, like, rotating from the bottom. Like it didn't open like a door, but like a hatch, if that makes any sense. We can't really see what's behind it thanks to the darkness inside the room, but out of like nowhere, we just see Corky emerging from the window, climbing out backwards while gripping onto the ledge. He's trying to edge out, Tomb Raider style, so we can drop feast first. Tomb Raider style. Blanky mode. He was in full blanky mode. Bree, thank you for choosing me as your scary story narrator. If you have headphones that go over your ears, do you ever just like kind of like slightly press your fingers and push them into your ears? It like really enhances the sound. It's kind of cool. He's trying to edge out, Tomb Raider style, so he can drop feet first into a section of flower beds that were very fortunately placed underneath the window. I say very fortunately because I'm not messing. It must have been a 15-foot drop from the second floor window, like at least 15 feet. Then as we're watching him do this, there's like a flash of movement in the room above Corky, who then screams this proper, horrible, blood-curdling scream before crashing into the flower beds beneath him. He fell so awkwardly too, like the first thought was that he had to have broken something having fallen that distance in such a way. So I start rushing toward him to help him up and get him moving, but to my surprise, he just bounces back up out of the flower bed and starts legging it down the driveway towards us, that same horrible look of fear on his face that Sam had. Then, that was that. We just bailed, sprinting as fast as we could down this long dark road that led towards the river, not stopping until we reached the promenade, which was lit up in this ominous pumpkin orange streetlight glow. Pretty apt for Halloween, right? Not that it had occurred to me until months after. Only when we were certain we were a safe distance away from the bloke's house did we stop to catch our breath. But it didn't take long for those of us that had waited outside to demand to know what had happened. Only then did we see the blood pouring out of Corky's head. From a cut so deep, we could actually see this pale bit of tissue in the orange light, which turned out to be one of his actual bones. The old fella had stabbed at his hand as he'd been hanging from the window frame, and that's what caused him to scream and drop. I remember Sam just sitting down on the concrete near the railings, just with his head in his hands. Maybe he was trying to fight back tears, I couldn't quite tell, but it was Corky that spoke up first. "Fella pulled a knife on us. Got us into the back pantry and pulled a freaking knife on us," he said, hands on his knees, still panting. "He had something else too, like his phone. He was a taser, lad. He had a bloody taser, and my auntie had one that looked exactly like it. I'd know it anywhere." Sam interrupted. We were all just in shock and listened as they went on to describe how the nice old fellow we thought we were dealing with turned out not to be so nice or so old at all. Corky told us as soon as he had gotten them into the back pantry, he'd risen up from behind, all hunched over, and started to move a bit more limberly, which is right when Corky said he'd started to get the creeps, realizing that something wasn't right about the bloke. The old bloke pointed at the cupboard where the sweets were, told Sam and Corky to help themselves, then just sort of disappeared after telling them that he'd be back in a minute. The cupboard was apparently so high up that Sam had to give Corky a boost up to actually open it, and when they did actually open it, there was nothing inside at all. No soup, no sweets, no nothing. Then the next thing they knew, the fellow was blocking the exit to the pantry, holding a knife and what was, according to Sam, definitely a taser, and was ordering each of them to go upstairs. But that's not all. Apparently when the fella turned up again, he was bollock naked, with only his shoes and socks on. We didn't get all the grim details out of either of them for a few months, but apparently the fella wasn't suffering from any dysfunction, if you catch my drift. They'd said they'd listened to him at first, heading towards the staircase before they attempted to escape, with Sam heading out the back door, into the yard and over the fence. But Corky was sort of trapped on the stairs of the bloke blocking his escape, so as I mentioned, he had to run upstairs, find a front-facing window, and just climb out of it. We considered calling the police right then and there. I mean, he'd obviously just stabbed one of our mates in the hand, but Corky had this other idea. Even with his adrenaline pumping, he explained, and pretty coherently, that there was no way we could complain to the police, that he could see the older fella putting on that innocent old man act again, and just telling the police that we'd forced our way inside and tried to rob him, that he'd defended himself, and that's how Corky ended up with the wound on his hand. I remember the lad was about to phone the police, just stopping dead, thinking about it for a second, and putting his phone away. 5 lads, way too old to be trick-or-treating, stinking of booze, versus the word of one sweet old man who was apparently no threat to anyone at all. It'd be an open and shut case for the police, or at least that's what he got into our heads. I'm sure there's people who might read this and disagree, knowing there was some way of us having evidence in our favor, or, I don't know, something to prove we weren't lying. But I suppose we'll never really know, since we didn't act on it to find out. We stayed away from the neighborhood for years. We eventually managed to get it together to enact some kind of revenge, but when we went back to the place, we found out it was some young couple living there, the older fellow apparently being long gone. We didn't get any closure at all, but closure is overrated. There's a lot to be said for the power of just forgetting, you know? But yeah, anyway, this has gone on long enough, I reckon, so I'll wrap it up. The story of the scariest thing that ever happened to me or anyone I know during Halloween, and honestly, it's probably the most disturbing thing to happen to me in my entire life, too. Jenna, with the 20 Canadian Dollarinos, says, hey, sexy Joel. Been a while since I listened to your live stream. How are you and little Pradeep? What topic are we on tonight? Well, first off, Jenna, thank you for the biggest dono of the night. I appreciate that. And we are on some Halloween stories to finish out spooky month here. Pradeep is doing fantastic, curled up in a bit of a ball. Okay, someone accepted that message. Thanks for that. Yeah, he's curled up in a ball there. What's my favorite Halloween candy? Definitely Reese's. Really anything. Really any sort of peanut butter chocolate Reese's stuff. I just fucking love it. It's so good. It's like the best shit ever. Run, Corky, run. Chocolate bacon. Holy fuck. I don't think I've ever had chocolate with bacon before, but that sounds pretty damn tasty. Chrisinator, you want to tell scary stories on YouTube when you grow up? Hell yeah, dude. I believe in you. Practice your practice your spooky story voice every day till you're a god. Reese's are dangerous. Why are Reese's dangerous? Oh, Morgan, you don't like chocolate all that much. You must be crazy. Depth Audio says, hey, bro, love the podcast. Been listening for almost a year. Where do we donate? Oh, thank you so much, Depth. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys ever want to listen to these stories on podcast, be sure to check out the Let's Read podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the major ones. But yeah, you can donate with Super Chat, which is it's like where you can put in a message. There's like a little money sign there, and then there's also Streamlabs if you prefer that process, is in the description below, or PayPal, all that jazz. I don't want to keep rambling on about that, but I appreciate even the thought. So thank you. Chocolate chips and bacon. Damn, that sounds pretty good. That'd be sick. They should, because I've tried to like cook with chocolate before. Doesn't work. Burns, But they should make like chocolate that you can, like a chocolate oil or something, a cacao oil or something that you can like actually cook with. And that would be perfect for bacon. You don't like American chocolate, you like British chocolate. Well, I feel like there's so many different chocolates. How would you even be able to differentiate? Hello, Amanda. Hello, Mario. Reese's is too sweet. I guess. The perfect amount of sweet. So we're gonna be jumping over to story number 3 of the night. And there's 5 stories tonight. The last 2 are pretty long though, which is pretty sweet. Hopefully these ones are long too. Long and girthy. There's a difference between American Cadbury and British Cadbury. Like the Cadbury eggs. I feel like that's like the only circumstance in which Cadbury eggs or like British candy would even make it into the United States. It's like specifically for the Cadbury. Maybe I'm not thinking the right thing. They do make chocolate for baking. I use it all the time. You have to know how to use it. Oh, okay. Can you actually stop eating Reese's? No, I literally will never stop eating Reese's, and I don't know why you would have such an issue with it. That's really weird. American Cadbury is basically imported from Canada. I actually am like really curious as to why you have such a disdain for Reese's. Please at me in the chat so I can hear this reasoning, because it's kind of blasphemy. Oh, okay. All right. I can't pick up on sarcasm in the chat. Me and my buddies used to trick or treat like every year when we were kids, without fail. And there used to be this one house we always used to call it where... Oops. And there used to be this one house that we always used to go to where this horrible family used to live. Like their kid was a huge bully in middle school, got suspended a bunch of times, and her parents didn't seem to be any better. Like most kids would just stop going to that house after they'd been told to buzz off year after year, but we grew to kind of relish the confrontation in a way. Like it's not like the mom who used to answer the door knew exactly who it was each year. We had masks on, or different stuff. We just got kicked out of seeing her get increasingly irate. Got a kick out of it. Yeah, Reese's is the best, dude. Like top tier Halloween candy. Like an S class candy. Reese's is good in moderate amounts. No, it's only good to the extent that it makes you throw up. That's when you know it's good and you've had enough. But really, the throwing up is tough because it just makes room for more. Oh, you can't stop eating them. Okay, now that makes sense. When they become an addictive issue, I suppose, then I can understand. Kit Kats from Japan. I wish that, like, I don't know, all those major candy companies like Hershey's and et cetera, would just start, I don't know, producing whatever fancy candies that they, have in other countries, but make like a mixed bag of them or something every Halloween or some random time and sell them in the United States just to kind of give a taste of the world or something. If I come to Toronto, you're going to make me some chocolate peanut butter cake. Damn, that sounds very tempting. Oh, that's why you said they're dangerous. Oh, okay. I lack reasoning skills sometimes when I'm reading chat. Because honestly, a lot of times I get like conditioned sometimes because there's always like a few random people in chat who get like they're random. I'm not saying anybody here right now, but like there's just random times. I'm sure you guys have been in a stream where someone gets like really offended by something or like has like a line of reasoning that is just so unreasonable that I just presume that that's, going to happen almost every stream. You know what I mean? So when someone says it's dangerous, I'm like, okay, let's hear this reasoning here, but no. Oh my God, Joel, you're a genius. I hope they make a mixed bag of candy from all over the world. I mean, it's so funny. I feel like I think of more like custom candy ideas than I do any other invention ever. But if anybody here works for any of those candy companies and wants to be promoted as CEO of Tasty Treats, fucking let them know about that. I'm your first narrator. Nice. That sounds very intimate. We just got a kick out of seeing her get increasingly irate as the years went by. Only one year in particular, she gets really, really angry with us knocking over and actually chases us down her driveway and out into the street, which wasn't nearly as fun as just trolling her and seeing her get angry. That sounded fucking like a really weird sentence, sorry. You carry candy in your white van. Only one year in particular, she gets really, really angry with us knocking over and actually chases us down her driveway and out into the street, which wasn't nearly as fun as just trolling her and seeing her get all angry. So that year, we decided it was time for the nuclear option. You see, we were heavy on the treat side of trick-or-treating, not so much the tricking sides of things. Even houses that told us to get lost or had ran out of candy didn't get anything bad thrown their way. We just sort of took it on the chin. But that time, getting chased away was a little too much for us to stomach, so we started hatching a revenge plot. One of us runs back to their parents' place, grabs a pack of toilet paper, then meets back up with us like a few minutes walk away from the house we plan to TP. We head back over there like we're on a secret mission or something, all hyped up to strike deep at the heart of killjoys everywhere. It was dumb, but we were just kids, maybe only like 12 or 13 at the time, so I guess being dumb was just part of the package of being that age. Anyways, we get there, sneaking up the driveway in pairs, hiding behind bushes and their car and whatnot, and getting in position to strike. Then, like some little team of cartoon commandos, one of us gives the signal and we spring into action, hurling the rolls of toilet paper over the house, over the car, into the big tree that they had in their front yard, everywhere we could. Then boom, there's a gunshot. And the dad of the family runs around the back of the house, aiming a pistol in the air and hurtling towards us. We look like, oops, shit. Jesus. Someone TPs you and you just
Open fire. Castle doctrine with the toilet paper.
I honestly might go out and just buy a big bag of candy here soon. He looked like a man possessed, sprinting towards us at terrifying speed, despite the fact that he was rocking a big old spare tire in his gut. We just bolt, running back down the driveway and pounding it into the street, splitting off into different directions as we're all just intent on getting out of there. But you know that saying, you don't have to be fast enough to outrun the bear, you just gotta be faster than your slowest friend? Yeah, that. Because as we're all running, I hear the scream from behind me, then the guy shooting. I turn to see one of my buddies, on the floor, getting the life kicked out of him by this guy.
Hey,
Oops.
listen.
Rook X with a 5 says, I was listening to you while driving to my boss to the airport. My boss swears you were using autotune on your voice, lol. I thought it was pretty funny. Autotune? Does it sound like autotune? Because does it have like a bit of a wow, wow? I feel like autotune is like a What's the guy who's famous for autotune? '80s music gal. Thanks. Hershey Almond Kisses, that have been my fave lately. Oh, Weston's a little teapot. Short and stout. Here is my autotune. Here is my sauerkraut. Yeah, I don't think I use autotune. Maybe hopefully it doesn't sound like off or anything like that. T-Pain. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I forgot that. I sound perfect. Good, good, good. Nesbit, what's up? I turn to see one of my buddies on the floor. Getting this, I don't know how to, like, for some reason I don't want to say crap. I know that's like not a word, but like I've conditioned myself to think that like even saying crap is going to get your video demonetized. What's something when you beat somebody up, like snot? Yeah, snot. Yeah, we could do snot. How old am I? I'm 30. 30, dirty 30. Brian, you're T-Pain? You know me. I'm T-Pain. You know me, dude. I turn to see one of my buddies on the floor, getting the snot kicked out of him by this guy, his bag of candy having spilled open with all the contents just glittering in the streetlights. I run back and start begging the guy to stop, and he points the gun right at me, at which point I literally pee my pants. I'm not scared to admit it. I was a kid, and it's scary enough having a gun pointed in your face as an adult, let alone when you're like 13. Only when he takes the gun away from me and points it to my buddy's head that I find the will to start screaming, "No, please don't, we're sorry, we're really sorry, please don't shoot him." The guy doesn't respond, or even look at me that time. He just whips off my friend's mask and keeps the gun pressed against his temple and growling stuff about how he's going to blow his brains out right then and there. Who do you think you are, creeping up on my family like that? I should waste you right here and now. And all this other stuff that has my young friend basically bawling his eyes out. It was horrifying. Actually horrifying. Scarier than any horror movie I'd ever seen. Scarier than any super realistic costume or Halloween decoration that any sick horror freak could have possibly dreamed up. I mean, I really did think the guy was about to straight up kill my friend in front of me, and it didn't take long until I was crying too. Then the guy does something to the pistol, cocks it back, puts the barrel to my friend's face again. I'm screaming, don't kill him, over and over. Then he pulls the trigger. But there's no bang. There's just a click. But even the click was enough to send my friend into absolute spasms of terror and wailing. I didn't know anything about guns at the time, and I really did think he'd done whatever you do to prep the thing to fire, and I think I was just too terrified to see or realize that what the guy had done, what he must have done thinking about in retrospect, is eject the clip, clear the chamber, then dry fire the pistol into my friend's face, making it look like he was about to shoot him, but actually not doing so at all. Then once we were good and broken, once we were too scared to do anything but stand or lie there, bawling our little eyes out, the dude says something about us learning our lesson, then walks off back up the street towards his house. I remember my friend sort of lying there in the street for a few minutes, just sniffing and crying while I sat down next to him. I sat down. It was... Jesus, this is a bit of an overreaction. You TP my fucking house! I'll kill you! Yeah, I would be traumatized for life. Judging people's age, yeah. I just miss, like, the casual conversations you used to have in, like, places. Now it's just, like, you don't really have those. I don't know. Maybe, if you work in retail, do you still get to have, like, just casual conversations with people? I just feel like for a lot of the times people are so anxious and they're always kind of just, like, trying to move on to the next thing. Have I had the big Reese's peanut butter cup orgasmic? Yeah, there's ones that are like giant, and I like did actually like a race with my friend, and I beat him, but I felt fantastic actually. I felt like I had superpowers, kind of like whenever Mario eats a mushroom and grows to be double his height. I don't know. Yeah. Do you remember the TP, the toilet paper shortage? See, if that would have happened around this time, these kids would have never had this issue. I think we need to start hoarding toilet paper again. We gotta switch it up. What should we hoard this time, guys? Just arbitrarily pick something. Maybe plungers. Or paper towel. Well, maybe like soap? No. Flossers. Like those things you floss your teeth with. Just like a full set of like bathroom consumables. You buy $18 worth of snack packs putty. Hell yeah. The great TP shortage of 2020, we'll never forget it. Tampon hoarding, there you go. Pudding hoarding. Pickles, socks, dryer sheets, canned beans, butt plug, plungers, socks, toothpaste, pizza rolls. Now that I could get on board with. Yogurt, condoms, gravy. Condoms and gravy. We need to hoard the Reese's, yes. Pickles and socks. Butter and socks, right? Remember butter socks? I do, a little bit. Pepto-Bismol, Jesus. I say sat down. It was more like my wobbly knees just couldn't handle it anymore, and I collapsed down onto my bottom near him. We didn't say a thing for the longest time. We just tried to process what just happened. How a dumb Halloween prank could possibly have escalated into something so truly terrifying. Looking back on it, I know we were little jerks tempting fate like that, going back year after year, and we probably weren't the only group of kids who were angering this guy, or deliberately targeting them for not being in the Halloween spirit. But I don't think we deserve that. No one does. I mean, this grown man subjected a tween kid to a mock execution. Jesus. Exotic butters. Lactaid. That's kind of a gross name for whatever that milk shit is, but it does taste good. I mean, this grown man subjected a tween kid to a mock execution in the middle of the street. After a while, we got up and I walked my buddy back to his house, where we told his parents everything that had happened. Needless to say, the cops got involved and the whole thing got way, way messy for a while. The guy ended up catching charges, and we got visits from the cops too to warn us about playing Halloween pranks like that. I'm not a lawyer, and this was like 30 years ago now, so don't quote me on any of this. I mean, I'd actually be happy to hear from anyone who could paint a more detailed picture of the laws that were broken that night, but technically, we were trespassing on their property and breaking a bunch of other harassment laws or something, and if that guy hadn't actually ran after us into the street, I think he might have actually gotten away with the whole thing. But since he did follow us and did the whole mock execution thing, he managed to pick up some serious charges, and for a while it looked like he was facing a brief stint in prison. Fuck. The shoestrings. Let's tie everybody's shoes together. Horde porn stars. They're all stuck in Fry's basement. But since he did follow us and did the whole mock execution thing, he managed to pick up charges, and for a while it looked like he was facing a brief stint in prison. But the family wasn't exactly in the weeds financially, so from what I remember, they lawyered up and managed to get away with a suspended sentence. Although I do know the guy was banned from owning firearms in our home state, which I suppose was a win for us in some respects. But the lasting effects of that night stayed with me for a long time. I've had a severe fear of firearms ever since. Like I can watch movies with guns in, no problem. Something about it just being on a screen kind of separates the reality of it from me for some reason. But in person, I literally get a sweat on if I see a gun, which actually posed a serious problem for me during things like your run-of-the-mill traffic stop, where I see a cop's gun and get all nervous. Like, I've had a canine unit called on me more than once because a cop assumes I get all nervous because I have something in my car that I shouldn't have. But I'm sure you guys can't blame me, right? That night was one of the most traumatic of my entire life. Perhaps the most traumatic. And I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that it was the last time I went trick-or-treating. Like, sure, my parents banned me from ever going again, but even if they didn't, I never wanted to be out on Halloween night. Ever. Again. All the toilet paper is in my bathroom. You all will never wipe your butts again. I do like that meme where it's like, toilet paper companies when they invent poop. It's a good meme. One that should stand the test of time. OD Suffer, thank you. Rice pudding, yeah, rice pudding sounds good. For Depot. He's such a good cat. He's laying there like upside down, like looking at me. It's pretty funny. It's funny when I stream and I like don't give him like an insane amount of attention. It's like that's when he wants it. He knows what's going on. Live stream with toilet paper in the background. What if I sat in a toilet paper throne? Some people just want to watch the world burn. You feel like a famous dude now. Welcome to Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. Getting mentioned in a Let's Read stream. Rice pudding as lube. Jesus. That 0 to 100 real quick there, Horseman. He just stares at me, dude. Stop staring at me. Stop staring. He just wants attention so bad. So bad. Oh my goodness. Okay. I gave him a pet. A boop. Okay. Pardon my yawnies. Hello, I am Yawny. Oh yeah, Princess, which one was that? Did you already like... I believe you already added me on Instagram, right? For the merch, or not the merch, but the fan art. I hate Halloween. I'm sorry. I know that makes me sound like a proper buzzkill, but I have to be honest. Halloween is without a doubt my least favorite night of the year, and I really hate how it's gone from just one night of it to like an entire month of dumb, spooky fun. But I promise it's not just me being a killjoy. For me, it seems from a deeply... Oops. But I promise it's not just me being a killjoy. For me, it stems from a deeply personal experience with people who didn't just... Fuck, man. It's like officially cold out, so I feel like it's getting... The air is getting dry. I don't know why I'm struggling. We yawned at the same time? Ooh woo? Ooh woo woo woo? Okay. But I promise it's not just me being a killjoy. For me, it stems from a deeply personal experience with people who didn't just see ghosts and ghouls as some harmless form of autumn entertainment. Let me explain. I was born in Yorkshire, here in Yorkshire. Isn't it Yorkshire? I forget how these Brits pronounce their shits. Yorkshire. 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 How do you say it? Cocksmere? Yorkshire pronunciations. Uno momento.
The following pronunciation.
I don't care.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. Yeah, it's like this weird Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. Yeah, I wish it was Shire, Yorkshire, because I think that's how we say it in the good old United States of America. But there, they don't have time. They got crumpets to eat and tea to sip on. Yorkshire? Is he from Yorkshire? I was born in Yorkshire, here in the UK. I was born in Yorkshire, here in the UK, but my parents are from Libya in North Africa. I'm sure I don't have to explain much about the recent situation in Libya, as it's been in the news. Oh, Pradeep, don't do that, dude. Oh my god. Alright, he's starting to bang his face into stuff. Mainly because I don't have the backpack up, but let me let him out. You what, mate? You what? You what? You what? You what, mate? You what, mate? More? You what, mate? You what, mate? You what, mate? Okay. America. Fuck yeah. I'm sure I don't have to explain much about the recent situation in Libya, as it's been in the news an awful lot over the past 9 years or so. But I think there's a lot about Libyan and Arab culture in general that a lot of people don't know about, especially when it comes to things that have pre-Islamic origins, since the religion has pretty much come to dominate any news or discussion when it comes to the Arab world. One of these things is the concept of jinn. Jinn is a term used to describe spirits or supernatural creatures that exist in Arab folklore, creatures that are held responsible for misfortune, possession, and diseases. The word comes from the root word jan, which means to hide or to adapt. They're different from demons in the sense that they're not inherently evil and can sometimes be helpful and kind. In a lot of pre-Islamic works of literature, jinn can be summoned and bound to a sorcerer, who can then manipulate their powers to their own advantage. Jinn are assumed to be able to appear in shapes of various animals such as scorpions, cats, owls, or even donkeys. Dogs are another animal often associated with jinn, especially black dogs, which explains why a lot of Muslims have a weird fear of dogs. Jinn are also commonly associated with the wind, often appearing in mists or sandstorms as shadowy ghosts with no individual structure. Now, having grown up in the UK, I don't really believe in any of that stuff. I studied medicine at uni. I'm a rather rational person. I know that mental illness is caused by chemical imbalances, etc., and not just bloody spirits. But I can't say the same for my parents, or some of my other extended family who legit believe that certain illnesses or mental disorders are caused by being possessed by jinn or tormented by shaitan, the word we use for demons or devils. So a few years ago, when my mom started to suffer from a deep, all-consuming depression, the immediate reaction wasn't to get her an appointment with a psychologist or therapist. It was to start doing all kinds of ancient rituals on her to remove the jinn from her body. In short, my aunts had someone perform a bloody Islamic exorcism on my mom, and having to witness it was honestly one of the worst chapters in my entire life, which, coincidentally enough, also happened to occur during the month of October. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember driving back from Manchester to my mum and dad's place in North Allerton, worried sick the entire time because I knew that I was about to witness something seriously distressing. I remember the look my aunt gave me when I suggested that what was about to happen maybe wasn't the most effective form of treatment, and that my mum needed professional help. I mean, I wanted to tell them that they were daft old bints who, medically speaking, didn't know their arses. Oh my god, that's a gin. There's a gin in here. Should I ask it for some Reese's Pieces? This story is so British. I didn't want to say arse, because I don't know if that'll get flagged. He said a naughty word. You've been an avid fan since middle school. Thanks, Brian. Can I do a Randy Macho Man Savage impression? Or Hulk Hogan? I don't know if that's the same thing, honestly. What does Hulk Hogan sound like? Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Randy Macho Man Savage. With a sleight of hand, I can pull out a little bit of creamer for your coffee. Keep you up all night with a taste of vanilla. Did I eat the gin? He's mine. There's a gin in every Reese's cup. Did my roommates listen to my stories? They did not. They're not interested. Brett Moth with the $6.66. Does the butter go on the sock or inside it? Also, everyone hit the like button. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Number 27, use an electric sander. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is the perfect way to do it. What do you guys think? Have we determined that aspect of the buttersock cult? Does the butter go
Hey, listen.
in the sock, on the sock, around the sock? How do you properly butter a sock? I'm gonna waste one of my 3 wishes. You don't know that he gets 3. Maybe that was one of the infinite wishes. In which case I'd wish for infinite Reese's Pieces. Hey yo, you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I do not. A lot of people ask me if I watch JoJo. And I tell them I like to watch people changing outside their window. It's my preferred show. Just kidding. But like, I don't know what it is about JoJo that everyone likes. I've never watched it, but some people in my one Discord server I was in, some people in the place were all about JoJo, but then other ones were like, I couldn't stand JoJo. Like it was too weird for them or something. That's what I heard. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is JoJo too weird? Architect with the 7 Canadian says, once upon a time, I just wrote a scary story about tortillas. The end. It's a wrap. Badoom, cha cha cha. Badoom, cha cha cha. Thank you, architect. Seven Canadian dollars for your 7 devices running this at once. IJ Talk with the 2 says, lol, hey, you have Chardonnay tonight, noodles. Lol. Having Chardonnay tonight, noodles. Lol. Am I saying that right? Thank you for the 2. IJ Talk, good to see you. Are you having Chardonnay with noodles? That's an interesting mix. Tree Flesh lives for JoJo. Just watch an episode or 2. Alright, I will watch an episode or 2 for you guys and come back and report my findings. Also, isn't there like 10 trillion episodes? What if I read the manga? Okay, the fans are weird. The show is amazing. All the JoJo stands. Will I be finishing the Jin story? I will. Sometimes I get on tangents with the chat, but I got my space highlighted so I don't forget. Lila, you don't watch anime? What the hell's wrong with you? You must be a Jin. Potentially possessed by a Jin because not watching anime is a mental disorder. Do you guys read mangoes? Japanese mangoes? Jules' anime review. I didn't watch it. 0 out of 10. Okay, anyways. I mean, I wanted to tell them they were daft old bents who, medically speaking, didn't know their butts from their elbows, but you don't speak to your elders like that. Not in my culture. They scowled at me, told me I was straying from Islam and that I needed to basically get my head together and stop thinking like an English girl, even though that's exactly what I was. I feel like I should make it clear that I love my heritage and I love my religion. I'm proud to be Muslim and I wouldn't change a thing about myself, even if I don't strictly keep halal. Halal. Is it halal or halal? Halal. Let me just look it up real quick. Tigpub with the $2 says, I love your video, dudes. Keep it up. Thank you, Tigpub. Thanks for being here and thank you so much for the dono. Let's see. Halal. Isn't it halal? Halal. Pronunciation.
Halal.
Oh, halal. Okay. Huh? Law. It's like when someone tells you a joke, but you didn't quite hear it, but then you're like, now you heard it in your head, and you're like, huh? Oh, lol. I'm proud to be Muslim, and I wouldn't change a thing about myself, even if I don't strictly keep halal. But I'm telling you now, some aspects of my culture really annoy me. Misogyny is one thing. All those old bearded wankers telling us girls what we can and cannot do, while being total bloody hypocrites themselves. But the anti-science thing is just on another level, and it baffles me. At one point, the Muslim world had some of the most scientifically advanced societies on the face of the earth, but somehow that all just went completely downhill, but I digress. One evening, pretty much my whole family gathered in my parents' house when a sheik arrives to perform the exorcism. From what I gathered, the whole process was divided into 3 stages and wouldn't take place over one evening, but a few days. The first stage involved removing all forms of distraction from the living quarters of the possessed person. The sheik, with the help of my aunts, removed anything musical from my mum's room, so all the CDs, the stereo, and my mum's ode, which is like a little Arabic guitar or mandolin type thing, which she always loved to play for me and my sisters when we were kids. I actually gotta make sure I pronounce that right, because I don't know if, like... It's funny, I hear the sheik and I think, we were just talking about wrestling, and I remember, wasn't there, like, a wrestler, like, the Golden Sheik, or some sort of sheik? Let's see. Does anybody know what an ode is? It's like a little guitar. Oud. Maybe it's like an oud. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Oud. Alright, sweet.
Oud.
Oud. Okay. Cool. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. You should watch paint dry on the wall. That sounds fun. I should have that as like the background. What story number we're on? This is 4 of 5. Kind of going by a little quick. The sheik, with the help of my aunts, removed anything musical from my mum's room, so all the CDs, the stereo, and my mum's oud, which is like a little Arabic guitar or mandolin type thing, which she always loved to play for me and my sisters when we were kids. They then took away all of her jewelry and stuff. Basically, anything pretty had to be purged from the room, which obviously my mom found really upsetting since she took a lot of comfort in the things that reminded her of home. The sheik then told my mom and the rest of my family everything that was about to happen was the will of Allah, and that he was merely there as a kind of go-between, a mediator of sorts. The second stage, and perhaps the most disturbing for me, was when the sheik tried to actually communicate with the possessing spirit directly. Something came over my mom as he started to do this. At the end of the day, she believed in the process too, and she played right into his hands, saying some really horrible, perturbing stuff about being full of hate and loving the process of slowly killing the woman the thing was possessing. My aunt howled when they heard her talk like that. My sisters cried, and my dad had to leave the room to keep himself from showing the women of the family that he was about to burst into tears himself. When my aunt started screaming, so did my mom. The cacophony of wailing and crying coming from that room that evening was just horrendous, and for months I used to hear it in my nightmares. The sheik demanded to know the most inappropriate things from my mom, the kind of thing a person is never supposed to ask another unless they're actually really, really intimate with them. It was absolutely disgusting, and in those moments I hated that man. I think I still do. The third stage took place the following day. The sheik came and cleaned the room down with the help of my aunts. Then they used a mixture of money and water to wait, money? Joel's voice could paint a wall. You bet a channel with just paint drying would get a lot of subs. Maybe. Like an 8-hour stream, or just a live stream of wall paints. Alright, I'm kind of worried. Like, I feel like this person typed something wrong. Because they're saying then they used a mixture of money and water. Because I feel like, where's M on the keyboard? It's kind of close to H, and I'm wondering if it's like honey. But why would they use money? I don't know. Is anyone familiar with this practice? Because I don't know. It would just be like, I don't want to get that wrong either. The sheik came and cleaned the room down with the help of my aunts. You think it's honey? Of course they throw money at a djinn. I mean, it would make sense if it was money too. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, they used Judith. Is that true? Honey makes way more sense. I know, but it's like a weird religious practice, so it's like I don't know what the fuck. Like, it could be a bunch of coins mixed in water or something, and I don't know, you just like smear it around. Yeah, it's honey. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with honey and hope for the best. Architect says, wait. Yes, the whole stick of butter goes in the sock, then your foot, then both the shoes. Oh yeah, I like that. It might have money. It might be money. Honestly, I feel like hush money. Hush, demon. We've given you money. Now leave. Honey makes the queen bee honey horny. Nice, dude. Take the money, evil beast. No, it's really honey, Judith says. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna Islam, honey and water mixture. Hadith answers. Honey mixed with water. Question: is the following established? Might be money. Now I'm confused. Get tired of having to explain. You will not do a face for everyone who keeps asking. I don't care. I mean, if people obviously want to know whenever you're anonymous, but yeah, I don't think I'll do. A face reveal. Young money, cash money billionaires. They threw some young money in the water. All right, I'm going to just say honey. I'm going to go with honey. Final answer, Regis Feldman for the $1 million. If I get it wrong, I'm going to get beat up in the comments probably, but whatever. Then they used a mixture of honey and water to wash my mom down with, in a kind of purification ritual that would cleanse her body and soul of any sin. She was utterly exhausted by that point. I'm also certain she hadn't eaten a thing in about 3 days and had barely drank any water. She looked terrible, and I was so scared she was going to die as a result of the stress and deprivation. Then, after the sheik... What? Oh, they said but it's... Will there be a live stream on Halloween? I'm not sure yet, to be honest with you. They threw young money in the water. Or money honey, yeah. Or maybe they used honey as money. You never know. More Pradeep face reveals, yeah. I should post more pictures of Pradeep in the old pets channel on the Discord. I actually ate some... like if you were eating raw honey, like that has the combs in it and stuff, it's good as shit. And I suggest y'all's try it. Do a mouth reveal. Yeah. I don't know if you want to see my mouth. But yeah, I ate some honey, and it's funny because it's so good, so sweet. But sometimes the honeycomb kind of like stays in your teeth for a while, which is kind of gross. And God forbid you actually eat a bee. Honey was a currency before currency. Hell yeah, dude. Then, after the sheik put his white-gloved hand on her head and recited a few verses from the Quran, it was all over. He packed up his things as my aunts thanked him, then he left. My mum was fixed. Only she wasn't fixed. Not at all. She's never really gotten better, and for a long time I think that exorcism bollocks only made her worse. Yeah, religion helped her. Praying and believing helped her to get a little bit better, but not anything that old wanker did to her ever made her remotely better. I suppose that's why I hate Halloween so much. I had to spend the rest of October listening to stories about demons and spirits, seeing people make light out of a subject that had given my family and I so much pain and torment. Because, as I said, for some people, ghosts and ghouls and goblins are just something make-believe that bring a bit of light entertainment once a year, or for my weirdo boyfriend all year round. But for some people, they're very, very real. Joel Juice Currency. Zen, what's good, dog? I'm eating millions of bee puke. I'm fine with that. It tastes delicious. They can fucking shoot their puke all over my face. I don't mind. Hopefully the bees will puke right in my mouth. Daddy bees.
Alright. We've been going for about 2 hours here. What color eyes do I have? They're like some type of brown. Poop brown. With the nuts in it. These are honey and Joel juice. We can make a mixture for religious purposes, for the Buttersock cult. Oh, you carved a pumpkin earlier. Nice. I need to do it. Didn't we have a pumpkin carving contest in the Discord? Did anybody do that? The same thing every day. What's up, dog? Do you guys hear a scary story? I went to a hotel and there was no internet. Oh, that would be bad news. Bad news bears. My name is Rosa. I live up near Edinburgh. Shit, I always have to remember how to fucking say these UK places, because they be saying it's strange, even though it is their fucking home. And they come up with the pronunciation and we just bastardize it. We just bastardize the shite out of it. Hey. Edinburgh. 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 What is the correct pronunciation? It's pronounced two ways in Scotland. Edinburgh or Edinburgh. 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 Bruh. Sorry, I'm fucking...
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Edinburgh. Oops. Nope. Whoops. I accidentally clicked on football highlights. Did not mean to do that. Get sued by the NFL. Edinburgh. Edinburgh. My name is Rosa. I live up near Edinburgh in Scotland, and this is the true story of the scariest thing that's ever happened to me on Halloween. I'm going back a few years, but on Halloween night, the Cinema Society at our uni decided to put on an outdoor showing of that movie, Alien. I'd not seen it before, but a few of my pals said it was good, and since we were too old for trick-or-treating, but too young to go out drinking, that would be a way to have a good time without spending too much money. So we had an alright time watching the film and all of that. It wasn't as good as my pals had made it out, but it was still pretty enjoyable. Only the whole time, this guy in the same row as me keeps looking in my direction. You know, like when you can see the shape of someone's face in your peripheral vision when they're staring at you. Yeah, that. I gave him a few looks as if to say, "What are you looking at?" but that didn't put him off. He kept staring for like the entire time the film was going on. He seemed a wee bit older than me, with dark hair and quite a plain face, and he had a t-shirt with a little character wearing a blue and yellow jumpsuit type thing that was giving a thumbs up. I'm pretty sure it was from a video game, but I'm not sure which one. Anyway, when the film was over and me and my friends were walking back towards the bus stop, this car pulls up next to us really fast before slamming on the brakes. Then the same fellow jumps out of the car, the one with the video game t-shirt, and tries to actually drag me inside. I went absolutely rage and started scratching and biting him. Wait, what's rage? It's like R-A-D-G-E. Ooh. Informal Scottish, a wild, crazy, or violent person. I shouted,
Wind you ugly neck, dos rage. Oh, fuck, it's some Shakespeare shit, bro. The last king of Scotland. Tried to drag her into the car. I went absolutely rage and started scratching and biting him while my mates went mental too, punching life at him. Punching him. I went absolutely rage and started scratching and biting him while my mates went mental too, scratching, punching him until he gave up, jumping in his car and driving off. We tried to take pictures of the number plates and all that, but they were too blurry to make anything out, so we had nothing to tell the police apart from a rough, physical description. I don't think anything happened as a result of my complaint, like the police never got back in touch with me. So as scary as this whole thing was, I don't think it compares to the fact that the weirdo who tried to actually kidnap me that night is still out there, and it's probably only a matter of time before he tries something like that again. Only the next time, the girl might not be so lucky. Do you guys know if there's submission guidelines for stories that's always written in first format, but we can write in third person? Let's read. Third person. What would that sound like? I guess if you were telling the story on behalf of someone else, but usually the story, like, some people submit, like, creepypastas and stuff to the subreddit and email and stuff, but as you guys know, I don't really read those. They're usually first-person experiences or telling somebody else's stories as such. But shoot, Hannah, did Hannah just get here? Shit. I'm sorry. She missed the entire stream. Fucking hell. Dang. She shows up just for the candy. Waka waka. Alright. Well, guys, that went by kind of quick. Way quicker than normal. But the good thing is, I'm sure you guys are so excited about it, is that I'll get to sleep at a normal hour tonight. And I will wake up tomorrow and edit these stories first thing. Get them up on Patreon, where it's only $1 a month for early access. Just for you, all nice and edited and delicious. Yeah, I'm sorry, dudes. I know, it is sad. But I will be back. The video will returneth, or will come out, rather, at a normal time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tomorrow's Monday. As I said, it's going to be a Shudder advertisement in the beginning. So shout out to Shudder for sponsoring that. And it's a really good service, too, so if you guys are interested, please use my promo code, Let's Read, and all that good stuff to get all up on that-ish, because it's the Netflix of horror, and it's kick-arse, as always. Yeah, guys. Thanks for being here. Oh, I have to read the outro. Duh. Joel, not even using his brain noggin. Oh yeah, and join the Discord. Somebody link the Discord there. We need more people in the Discord. People need to join voice chat too to talk to each other. Now I'm gonna watch JoJo's and devote my life to it. I probably will. What if I love it? What if I absolutely love it and I become a full-grown weeb, a weebasaurus? Joe Cordova with the 10 says, loving these stories. I just want to show my support. I received my sweater that I wrote off a Spreadshirt, and I love it. What's your favorite story you've read? Oh, damn. That's always a tough question, but thank you so much for the 10, and thank you so much for buying a sweatshirt. If you are interested, if anybody buys any merch, I always encourage them to tag me on social media, or just DM me a picture of them rocking the merch so I can include it in a merch post. So if you would be so inclined to do that, that would be sick nasty. But as far as my favorite story, it's so hard to say. What do you got? What's your guys' favorite burrito? JoJo, an actual JoJo. This is the only JoJo I watch. with the 5 says, good night, Joel, and why don't you post the original live stream? Love you and the channel. I do actually. Whenever this is, so when this finishes, I click stop, and then it goes through about a, like, you know, 30 minutes to an hour of processing from YouTube's side. But I set it to unlisted, and I put the live stream in a playlist, and the playlist is called live streams Q&A or some shit like that. So all you would have to do to go find all of the old live streams that I've done in the past, if you want to, like, listen to the antics or just the good times we have together, or just want to hear the stories in not edited form, I guess. Yeah, go to the live streams and click on the live stream, or the playlists, and the live streams playlist there will let you listen to hours of content, hours of me rambling about butter socks and fucking poopy pants and and remember, time to hoard the toilet paper. Yeah, let's do this outro, shall we? Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And join my Discord to interact with me and other listeners directly. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. Thanks so much, friends. And remember to put your honey in your Joel juice. Sometimes as I'm saying it, I just look over at the chat to see if anybody has one, and I can hopefully locate one easily, which I did. So thank you, Paranoia Princess, for your contribution to the cause. But yeah, guys, thank you again. As I said, follow me on social media, jump on Patreon, jump on Discord, wherever all you fine, beautiful people would like to see me more at. Plenty of memes and stories coming your way. Never fear, cause I ain't stopping, baby. I ain't stopping until the stopping stops me. I don't know what that means, but you get it. You feel the energy, right? Fuck yeah. All right. Much love. Drink your Joel juice. Stay healthy. Adios.